Is this really free?
What's up? Yeah, sure. Feel free.
Thank you. This is cool. Are you live streaming?
I am.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. Maybe on the way back, you need another guy.
Cool. I'll be here.
Conversation.
Nice.
Sweet. Thank you.
Sure.
Have a great afternoon.
You too. Is this working? Can you hear me? Sure, it looks like a potato, but hopefully the audio is okay. Maybe the iPhone 13 will have better reception. All right, so back at Runyon Canyon. I'll be here for next few hours. See how it goes. I need some topics. Let's see.
for you. Yeah. Yeah. So he's the promise of the movie is he's
Although that's what he said, but he's like such a big liar, you know. I feel like just saying that.
Hey, GG. Audio's good? Okay, good.
You go up here.
Higher education should be publicly funded? Free college? Is that the claim? Should the U.S. have free college? Okay.
Why?
Okay.
So there was a point when you took off running, and you were like that tall, and so I'm like, what am I going to do? So I ran after you, and then you stopped, and I kind of like stopped, and walking up to you, and you saw me, you started running. You don't remember, so I can't ask you, what? What the hell are you doing? What were you thinking?
Hi. Just hanging out doing some interviews today with anybody?
CGP Gray?
Yeah, big fan.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, interesting.
It's free water. What's the biggest problem no one's talking about?
Any opinions on any of that or anything you want to talk about?
I don't really want to be on YouTube.
Okay,
Great.
This is a good idea.
thanks.
Good luck.
Appreciate it. Hi. Good. You want to sit down and have a chat about something? It could be about those topics or whatever. Want to? Sure.
If that's okay.
Sure. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you, sir. This is interesting.
Thanks.
Cool.
Is that too close?
That's fine.
Probably.
I'm not too worried about it.
There we go. How are you doing today?
Doing well. How are you?
Good, good. What's your first name?
Sam.
Sam? Cool.
What's your name?
My name is Reed.
Reed. I like what you're doing here.
Thank you.
It's cool.
Appreciate it. I'll get my notes here. So, do you come to the park often?
I'd say so. Yeah, maybe like once every 2 weeks. That's kind of often.
Nice. Cool. Yeah. Nice weather. Hopefully, it's getting a little cooler now.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's really nice. And yeah, I want to explain what I'm doing here. I'm trying to practice this way of having conversations called street epistemology. Have you heard of that?
Interesting. No, I have not.
It's a way of having conversations that's more where I'm in the role of asking questions to try to understand you, to help you reflect on what you believe and why, and then if you're up for it, can continue the conversation and potentially figure out if we know those reasons are good reasons or not. Challenge with more questions in some way.
Sounds good. What'd you say it was called?
Street epistemology.
Oh, street epistemology. I see.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Would you like to do that?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. Any time limits or anything?
Do I have time limits?
Yeah.
No, I can't even watch the Raider game. It's not showing, so
Okay. So you're free.
I'm free.
All right. So did you see a few of the topics over there, or what did you want
Yes,
to
I
talk about?
did. I mean, either one of those topics seems worthy.
Yeah. Want to put on headphones? It's a little easier to hear ourselves.
Yeah. Cool. Technology. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, I see
Real
what you're talking
podcast
about.
setup and just
Whoa.
speak as close as you can there, and so you can like really hear your voice. It's nice.
Nice.
All right, Sam. So yeah, what's a good question to focus on over there?
What were they again?
What were they? I don't even remember. What's the biggest problem no one is talking about?
Oh, that's a good one right there.
And what is true that's not allowed to be said?
Oh, that's a good one right there, too. Oh, I'd say the biggest problem nobody is talking about. I want to, right off the bat, I want to say the meat industry.
The meat industry.
Yeah.
Industrial meat industry is like, what do you mean by that?
Remind me of the question again.
What's the biggest problem no one is talking about? Is there a problem with the meat
Oh,
industry?
right. Yes. So, the problem is the ugly side of how it all comes to be,
Mm-hmm.
right? But nobody seems to care because of how good it tastes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it seems like pleasure is what matters more than anything else in these days. And everybody seems to want to ignore the humane side of it just because of the pleasure that comes from food and things that taste good. You know, I admit, you know, it's good. Cheese is good, meat is good,
Mm-hmm.
but and that just blinds people, I guess.
Yeah. What's the problem about it? I may have some assumptions, but could you spell it out exactly what the problem about it is?
There's a few different problems that comes with that. For me, the main thing I noticed right away was my health when I made the switch. So to me, that is more important than anything, right? I mean, I guess in the world of we're living in, right, you gotta help yourself before you can help others, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so,
You made the switch. What do you mean?
essentially getting rid of animal products in my diet.
No animal products. You switch from eating or consuming animal products to not doing that.
Yes.
Okay. And you see that as alleviating the problem of the meat industry. And what exactly is that problem? Just to
That
be clear.
specific problem actually is just the fact that we are disillusioned to think that, you know, we need this in our diet when in reality we do not need it at all. And it just becomes very clear when you try it, you know. But that's the weird thing about it, is that it's not as known for some reason. Like, there's way too many people that consider that okay, but I guess it's just because I guess it's just probably because in the end of the day, not too many people care about their health.
Whose health?
Their own health, actually.
Oh, their own health.
Their own health. So I guess that's the issue. Nobody cares about their own health. I wouldn't say nobody. But
So what I'm hearing you say is the meat industry is not good for human health,
precisely.
and the current problem we're not talking about today is the detriment of people's health due to the meat industry.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the bigger picture of human health, there is a lot of problems there when it comes to diseases that are taking a toll on humanity, like diabetes and stuff like that. And in reality, all of that can be prevented by eating right.
Hmm. Is that the biggest problem with the meat industry? Human health?
I guess it depends on your values, right?
Mhm.
For me, that was what mattered most. To
Mhm.
be honest, I'm gonna be upfront with you. I didn't do it for the animals. Um, I am a nice guy, but I am not a saint,
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I guess that it just depends, on different people's values. And my values um, have to do with, my longevity.
Okay. I'm glad I clarified that because that was what I assumed is the reason why there's a problem with the meat industry is the health of or the well-being of the animals. And what I'm hearing you say, it's human health that's the big problem. Consuming animal products causes problems with human health.
Correct. Yes. So it is both sides of the coin for sure. It just depends on what you care about more. But both are very, very big problems. And actually, both affect us directly. Our, damn, I just swallowed a fly. Literally.
Oh, geez.
It went right in
There's some
there.
water if you want to eat some.
No, it's cool. I didn't have breakfast, so that's good. Protein.
Damn, animal products. Just
Damn
coming in.
it.
That's
Oh my god.
it's an example, right?
Wow. I lost my train of thought, but yeah, animal products.
Okay, so what's a good question to focus on for this conversation? What I'm hearing you say is something like we should focus on is consuming animal products healthy?
That is a great question. I even think about it sometimes is can you consider animal products food?
Yeah.
And that's where my mind thinks now, and that's why it makes it so easy for me to make these decisions, which was really actually something I would have never ever imagined being Mexican and having so much love for my people's food, which is phenomenal, I admit.
Lots of chicken and beef
Yeah.
tacos
Oh my
and
god,
burritos.
I love it. But I haven't actually had an urge to have them because of my new way of thinking where I'm like looking at that and I'm like, if that's is that even food anymore compared to what I used to feel like on a daily basis? That's the biggest thing. Is on a daily basis, you would feel a certain way and it'd become your baseline. It would become what you're used to, right? And then you begin living a healthier lifestyle and this baseline changes and you become much more um, in my particular sense energetic. um, I, Energetic is probably the biggest one, to be honest. Energetic. I can't sleep in anymore. It's different, it's different when you realize it, when you put the pieces together. You look at that and you're like, do I really want to live like that again? Do I really want to be sluggish, feel heavy, be tired? And it just makes it easy answer is animal products food. And to me, in my mind, I think of it as no, it's not food anymore. It's byproduct. It's the remains of what the animal actually ate to keep themselves nutritious. And it's interesting, but
Hmm. All right, want to focus on this question to talk about that for a little bit? Is consuming animal products healthy for humans? Want to talk about that?
it'll keep you alive. That's one thing.
Okay.
That's true.
Just to make sure, we want to talk about this question. This is the main question we're talking about. Okay.
This one here, sure.
Yeah, I want to. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Seems right.
It's-
All right, I've got a little confidence scale. If all the way to the right, black is absolutely yes, consuming animal products is healthy, or not sure, or absolutely no, it is not healthy. Where's your current confidence about that on your scale? You can move it if you want.
I believe yes, consuming animal products can be very healthy, um, depending on where your baseline is, right? So if you're used to eating animal products your entire time and you manage your diet to where you are essentially eating healthy to where, you're getting the goals that you would like to accomplish, um, yeah, I lost my train of thought there.
We were talking about what are some problems people are not talking about today, and you brought up the meat industry, and you're saying the problem is people's health because they're consuming animal products.
Oh yeah, the baseline of healthy. Yes, I believe that you can live a healthy lifestyle with animal products, and that determines the baseline, right? Or that doesn't determine the baseline, sorry, but
If I'm going to clarify, if consuming animal products can be healthy easily, is that a problem with? Is there a problem then with the meat industry?
in regards to that particular subject, no.
Okay. So there's not a problem with the meat industry?
Not when it comes to health
What
of
is the
the
problem
people.
with the meat industry then? Why'd you bring it up?
Well, the reason I brought it up because the bigger picture, like I was just looking at what brought me into, thinking about it in the first place was health, but the bigger picture is the planet in the end of the day.
Oh,
That's the problem. So in the end of the day, people can be healthy eating animal products, but you
okay.
can be so much more healthier not eating animal products. And the only way you'll know is by trying, because there's a lot of athletes in this world that um, live off of animal products and they do just fine. They perform very, very well. They have, you know, godlike physiques and everything is fine. But that's their baseline. I guarantee you, if they went to a plant-based diet, that would shoot way up. And that is actually a very, very competitive edge that some people that are actually aware of these benefits, and I bet you a lot of people do it secretly just because it's still so new that in the athletic side of things, that it is an athletic advantage, a competitive advantage right now, that not everybody's taking advantage of. But I guarantee you that if they would, then what people thought was healthy is not going to be as healthy anymore, um, based off, the new baseline and experience.
Okay.
Just because we're so used to animal products, like that's just what we all grew up with. In the end of the day, that's what we're used to.
So what I'm hearing you say is the main problem with the meat industry is that it is not environmentally sustainable.
In the end of the day, that is the main problem because, yeah, we are not looking at the bigger picture and damaging more than benefiting with
and,
that.
And this relates to the problem of climate change in general, or something else.
Yes, I think so. I mean, to be specific with the way it affects the planet, there are a lot of different things. A lot of people say a lot of different things. You get these sources. It goes with the same with diet. Like everybody has something to say. And for the most part, you're not even really sure what. Don't want to eat another one again. For the most part, you're not really sure who to believe. But what you do see, or what you can believe, is what you experience in the end of the day. And I do see the climate change definitely affecting this planet. uh, Specifically, I grew up in the Napa Valley, and that was a good 20 something years I spent there. I never ever had the issue of having the power cut off because of high winds and high heat and the risk of fire. Um, Never had we had to worry about evacuating on a regular basis. It was just normal life. And all of a sudden, maybe 5-ish years ago, everything changed, and now summers can be scary. Last year was a very, very scary thing. A lot of Anyway, the point is, it's just right in front of your eyes. You can see what's real and what's really changing, and you can see that there is something changing
With
in this
climate change.
planet. Yeah, climate change is absolutely real, and
It-
I know that for a fact just because of what I see.
So the original question was, what are some problems that we're not talking about? I
Mhm.
assume climate change is something that is very much talked about. But one solution for climate change is something to do with the meat industry.
Which we ignore
We ignore this potential solution for climate change with the consumption of meat
because of pleasure.
as a pleasure. So the claim is that if if no one, if the humanity stopped consuming meat, that would significantly reduce the risk of climate change.
So they say.
Okay.
I believe it
Okay.
myself. I do believe it.
What's the link between consuming meat and climate change?
Um, well, I'm no scientist. I'll start by saying that. So I wouldn't want to give that answer specifically just because I don't think I'm qualified to be honest. I like to speak from experience, but yeah.
Okay. Even just broadly, what is causing what causes climate change, and how does animal products in the meat industry relate to what causes climate change?
Well, one thing that makes sense to me, and I'll just speak off what I heard from someone else, or not someone else, but a source. To be specific, this one was a documentary called what was it called? I think Seaspiracy, yeah, it was called, and it was a scary film. Not gonna lie, because of
CSEA spiracy?
yeah, Seaspiracy. I do believe that's what it's called. But one thing it brings into light is the effects of how we are destroying our oceans, and that makes a lot of sense. How the fishing industry definitely. They explained a situation where they fish and they essentially drop this giant net and drag it all across the sea floor, which would be essentially like the equivalence of pretty much mowing down rainforest. And you know that sea floor is very crucial to the planet's health. You know?
Okay.
But we're just destroying it on a massive scale, according to this film.
Okay. All right. So that's one big problem we're not talking about is the excesses of the fishing industry,
Yeah, yeah,
which is
that
part of
seems like a
which is part of
problem.
the meat industry because fish are meat. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Well, there's lots to potentially focus on here. There's that claim about the fishing industry and it relates to climate change in general, or other meat industries and how it relates to climate change. Whatever you want to talk about, or do you want to wrap it up here?
Well, I can wrap it up because I don't have, and I never actually really collected too much information as far as how it has affected the climate change because, like I said before, the reason I became plant-based in the first place was because of health, you know, and as a closing statement, I would like to say that it's worth a try just to see how amazing you would feel. Um, because I did it right before a competitive event. It was actually a culminating event to a major training I was a part of in the military, and um, I was actually very nervous. I was very nervous about this event because I the previous event I was actually falling behind, and I was like nervous because I was like, I've never fallen behind before, like this is really weird. And I'm a very competitive guy, and I did not like that at all. It was really upsetting, and I had to do something about it. So I did some research, and I realized, you know, that the health the way I was eating would be the best solution to fuel myself and be better. And so I recommend a movie called Game Changers for all you athletes out there to get a competitive edge. And check it out, give it a try, because I did it. I looked like a fool in the military, not gonna lie, just taking the ham and cheese out of my sandwiches. It was just, I looked ridiculous. But in the end of the day, I was the one laughing because I literally, I was the only one that actually completed the event the way it was supposed to be done. To be specific, it was a 20K hike with about 85 to 90 pound bag and a 240, which weighed about 30 pounds extra.
Wow.
And I was the only one that held the gun the entire time without dropping it. And I was shocked because I actually was so nervous that I just didn't want to fall back. So I told myself, if I need to drop the gun, I'm gonna drop the gun and swallow my pride and just survive. Like I don't want to look, like excuse my language. Can I? No.
Sure.
I don't want to look like a bitch, So I definitely didn't want to, overwork myself. But it was the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. Like it was crazy how. First 5K, I was not even tired at all. I was like just still floating with the gun, and I was like, this is amazing, next 5K, let's go. And by this time, everybody's already swapping out the gun, like, oh, 31 relief is what they would scream, and then you'd swap and take turns with the gun. And I was still like, wow, you guys are tired already? I'm not tired at all, like at all. And then the next 5K, everybody, like, by this point, everybody's dying. And I was, like, over here, like, still walking on air. And me and another guy were the only ones that still haven't dropped the gun. And we were talking to each other. And he's like, yo, you gonna drop the gun or what? I'm like, I don't know. We made it this far. Might as well just keep going. He's like, yeah, okay, let's keep going. And the last 5K, this is where actually I wasn't tired, but the weight of it all on my shoulders was beginning to get really, really heavy and painful.
Yeah.
Like actual pain. Like it was bad. I'm not even gonna lie. Like the last stretch, I really wanted to cry. And by the end of it, everybody was like, was I the only one that wanted to cry? And I was like, oh, thank God I was the only one. But at that point, I wanted to drop the gun, but I was like, there's no way. I can't drop the gun. Like, I'm the only one. Like, the other guy already dropped it. Like, I can't. I'm the only one. And I did it, and...
Dropped it how? Like, you're holding it where?
like, drop it, like, pass it off to somebody else.
You just have to hold it, not have it fall on the ground? Or you're holding it up or
Oh, you're
something?
just on your shoulder back.
You have to hold it on your back the whole time?
Yeah, it's a big gun.
That's the only way it counts, is if it's there?
Well, I mean, you could hold it any other way, but to be honest, that's the easiest
easiest
way. Yeah, any other way would just put too much strain on your arms.
Okay, so you were the only one who held the gun the entire time.
Yeah.
And you attribute your game-changing change in fitness due to switching from an animal product diet to a vegan diet?
Yes.
Is that the best way to say it?
Absolutely, without a doubt. Like the last hike, we were hiking with a 50 cal, and I was falling behind, and I was like, oh my, I was so embarrassed. And this next hike, all I did was change the diet.
That's all you did?
That's all I did, and it was 1 week. 1 week notice.
Wait, you did a run, you changed your diet for a week, and then you did another run, and what? Really?
Yeah, it doesn't take long.
Huh.
And those are what the results are showing. Like you could see this on the Game Changer movie as well, that it's immediate. Like the moment you are, eating plants, like that's the energy you use immediately. So the effect is right away.
Okay, I'll have to check that out for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's worth a shot. If anybody out there is like, needs that little extra competitive edge, you have a dream you want to pursue and you feel like you might not be able to make it, try it plant-based. You might be surprised. You really, really might be surprised. I definitely was, and so was the rest of my unit, because what I did that day was very impressive, and well, at least for that day specifically, considering the situation.
Gotcha, cool. So maybe if you see me again, we can just focus on the question, like, what's the best way to know whether a plant-based diet is suitable for most people?
Give it a try.
That's one way to tell. Okay. Your
Yeah.
personal experience with it. Yeah.
I mean, that's the way to find the truth in the end of the day. Everybody talks. Everybody has their opinion.
Yeah.
You never know who to believe until you experience the truth.
Experience the truth with your own personal experience.
That's one way to do it.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Sweet. Thanks, Sam, for sitting down, chatting with me. Appreciate it so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Hope to see you again. And I like to give one of these little puzzle pieces, squishy puzzle pieces if you want one. They're little reminders of the conversation, and if you see me again, you can get another one and build out the whole set.
That's so cool. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
This is so cool. I'll take these off.
Yeah.
Wow, that was so cool.
Thanks.
Like, you could even hear the voices of other people too.
Yeah.
That was kind of why I lost my train of thought a couple times.
Yeah,
But thank you so much for having me. This was really cool.
No problem.
I'll take a card if I may.
Sure. I'll have a clip up later on my second YouTube channel.
Awesome.
If that's cool.
What was your name again?
Reed.
Reed.
Mm-hmm.
Pleasure.
Nice to meet you.
To meet you.
See ya. Thanks.
I hope you enjoyed.
I did. Mm-hmm. Just did a nice warm-up chat there with Sam. Yeah, we didn't really get to a question. We kind of got to a question, but then we refocused it. So, yeah, that was interesting. I thought we were talking about, like, when I first heard the problem was the meat industry, I assumed it was like the biggest problem is the suffering of all the animals that are being killed. But I didn't want to assume, so I tried to clarify, and he said, no, it's for human health reasons. But then that's not, people can be healthy eating animal products, so really the biggest problem with the meat industry is its relation to climate change. And we talked about the fish industry. So that's one answer, but we didn't really know. By that time, it was a lot. Care harm, yeah. Oh.
Differences, so yeah, so
149 table. Probably do that right before the conversations. But would that be distracting? Intimidating? Maybe. Hello. Hi. How are you? Hello. What's your name? Okay, not sure whose dog that was.
Free water. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lord Jesus. Can I get two or no? We only get one?
That's fine.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bless your heart.
You gotta take a card and say hi to cordial courtesy.
Okay.
Yep.
Can somebody share cold water? You just going on with this?
What's the biggest problem no one is talking about?
What's the biggest problem no one is talking about?
It's true.
Impotency.
Impotency.
Okay.
Oh, let me take
Wow.
a picture. Yeah.
Should the U.S. have free college? Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. They got it over there. Oh, you're talking about political. Oh,
Yeah,
I thought
so
you were
these are
talking about.
state topics.
Or whatever.
Different.
Whatever, yeah.
Should the U.S. have free college? Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
What's true that's not allowed to be said? If you, sex trafficking. Sex trafficking.
Oh, that's another biggest
That's
problem.
another
no one is
biggest
talking
problem no one is
about.
talking
People talk
about.
about. Let's talk about.
Women's rights getting taken away.
Yes,
State by
women's
state.
rights.
Yeah.
Yes.
Women's rights.
Women's rights.
Everything. It's like,
This is
it's
really
so much.
interesting.
Oh, that's a good thing.
Yeah,
You're doing
I
a
like
good
that.
thing here.
Thanks.
It makes you
Like, opening
think.
people's
No,
minds,
yeah, you're making people think now.
Yeah, yeah.
For real.
Do you only put some cold water in your thing?
Sure.
Oh,
It's out. Yeah.
Let me grab
Go
one.
ahead.
Oh, it's no more. Okay.
Need a
No, no,
refund.
I got my hot one. I'll take this one.
This makes you think.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When you place them.
Cool.
You
Nice.
have a nice one.
You too.
You're doing a good thing.
Thank you.
I said empathy.
Let me check the water. Any opinions on any of that?
Nah, it is interesting though, but I'm okay.
Okay,
Kind of shy.
sure.
What's true this That's interesting, man. I'm curious to see that because I know a lot of people are gonna have different opinions.
Uh-huh.
That's dope.
Yeah, thanks. If someone takes 2 waters, that's okay, but if someone takes more than like 3, that's kind of pushing it. That guy took like 6. It's not cool. They're little like half waters, but still. That's not cool. Hello. Just me out here today. It's kind of nice having the downtime where I can just reflect and chill with my thoughts in between people. That's nice. I think Gina just finished reading The Righteous Mind by Jonathan Haidt. Kara Harm is part of Moral Foundations theory. Loyalty. Is a handshake the best emoji for that? Or like the praise hand up emoji? Authority. That should be like a crown. There we go. Loyalty.
Throw up. How was your day?
The old Roman handshake? What is that? Hmm.
You took too long to pick up.
I am pretty much out of hard drive space again. This is going to be my third 10 terabyte hard drive this year. That's a lot. That's a lot. And I usually get hard drives in pairs. One is a backup. So, might need to rethink my workflow here. It's this thing that's the culprit. I have to process ProRes files, which are huge. Makes it like 10 times as big. There's got to be a better way to do that. I don't know. Hello. Grasping arms? Yeah. Or a hug? Or a heart emoji? Heart? Yeah, the opposite of betrayal is like love. It's a heart. Yeah. Oh, is that different? It's more like a platonic thing. Maybe I had it right the first time. I have an ambulance for care. This guy for harm. I had a judge emoji for authority. The new Twitter streaming thing, I can't post comments there. Periscope is gone. Oh well. A nut? For loyalty?
And I'm like, dude, how do you quit when you saw it work?
I don't know about that.
Nice day up there? Beautiful. Is it raining that cat? For two? Huh? For two?
What? Pom pom. And they're like, oh, right, pom poms. Yeah, what do you want?
First we were trying to we got down on this.
Alright.
Hi. Is this free water or like what?
There's no strings attached. I'm doing some interviews if you're interested, but
Okay,
you
no,
can-
I'm not gonna get it then, because I'm not gonna enter. I don't wanna
that's fine.
abuse.
Appreciate it. Any opinions on any of that? Doing some interviews today?
Lack of empathy. I think the biggest problem facing America is lack of empathy for other people.
That's not allowed in like
For me, it's the chemtrails and the fucking
Oh,
bullshit
that's
they're spraying in the sky.
Okay.
But nobody believes in that.
Should the U.S. have free
For
college?
sure. Dude, Europe is doing everything right.
Oh, man.
Like healthcare, everything.
I don't know, you decrease the quality if you don't have some payment, but the current system's too expensive. Gotta be a middle ground. Anyways, here you go, Mike.
Yeah,
Three other
that's-
thoughts. That's a good idea.
Oh man, someone just said they believed in chemtrails, but then they walked away. Oh, damn.
I said my apartment. But they pretty much all are. Yeah, I'm sure there are other apps that will allow you to do it, but it'd be great to limit your access to time limits on that. That's a lot. Yeah. All you have to do the thing, where's the limit? Where's the limit?
Hi.
Hello.
I saw you were earlier.
Interesting.
Yeah, I saw you were here earlier.
Yes.
Want me to explain what's happening?
Nothing. I just want your name card, contact.
Okay.
Because I'm interested for you doing. Nothing else.
Sure. Did you grab one of my cards before? Or?
I haven't got any card.
Because you have to open the eyes. You have to be curiosity, right?
Mhm.
Where's the limit? Oh, this is some kind of like it. Where do you get a strong card like this?
Moo.com.
Okay.
Mhm. Thanks. Would you? Anybody want to do an interview today?
You want to do it?
What's the biggest problem no one is talking about? What's true? What's not allowed to say? Should the U.S. have free college? You have to choose one?
It could be those or anything you want to talk about.
No, the both things are really interesting, especially now, right? What is about to say? What
But
can
you
we
asked
say?
about China.
But this is your interview. What's the U.S. have? What should the U.S. have free college? What? It's not free.
No.
We have to call Charlemagne. I know related of Charlemagne, the one who created the school in France.
Yeah.
He's like the great grandson of Charlemagne.
Oh wow.
I met him about 2 weeks ago.
Really?
We were born 3 4 weeks. Anyway,
Yeah.
they will talk about it.
Yeah. I'm also streaming live to my channel right now. Yeah.
So you want?
Yeah, I want to talk about something.
All right.
Why so many homeless? Can I talk about this subject?
Sure.
Okay.
And I have some headphones over there if you want to listen in. Yeah, you can have your own headphones. Welcome, welcome. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I just want to ask a question.
Sure.
When I come to United States 10 years before, I would have a tremendous good experience for United States. People are wonderful, kind each other, nice each other. They even open mouths, can help each other. You don't feel anything selfish. They actually care about each other more. 10 years after, I see everything different. When I come again United States, I feel people more care about themselves. Instead, they care about others. They close the door. They protect each other. They feel another one is enemy. They feel each other. You gotta hurt me. You bad to me. Anyway, it's all the time when I heard more than 10 years before. And
Wow.
then it's completely different in my view. Maybe people not sensitive like me, because I would watch outside everything happening. And of course, the effect is something like Chinese intense for U.S. also happened. That's the reason. And then also reason because COVID. COVID made people scared too. Scared to lose people, lose family, lose housey. Afraid another one have a disease to post them. Also homeless getting more and more than 10 years before. 10 years before, I only saw one homeless in the Chicago area or Illinois state. Only few, not much. But now you can see California, everywhere have a lot of huge number of homeless. So how you got to deal with those homeless to continue to solve the problem? Is it possible to make the homeless have a job? The mentally problem, how to deal with the most people, not even poor, they are mentally sick. Actually, the poor people mentally sick more worse. Of course, have some people rich also mentally sick. We cannot say mentally sick is a poor problem. Of course, it's these days modern times problem. So what do you think about it? You know, why people, so many people have a mental problem? It's more than all the time. You see, 10 years before that, we can say all the time. They are not sick. And the U.S. full of culture, kindness, people actually believe what they want to believe. Now they don't believe anything. Do you think who made like this?
Who made it like this?
Yes. It's ourselves, or the social area, or politics from another country, or politics from here, other country harmonize each other, hurt each other. And why there's so many fight always happen to the world? Why people don't solve the problem? And instead they always protection, fight, and no solve problem, the point. You see anyone solve problem?
Do I see anyone solving the homelessness problem?
Yeah.
No.
Why?
I don't know.
So did I figure out what's going on about people? What's going on about happiness and healthy gone? But U.S. spirit gone. Why they have to follow bad things away all the time and lose their own good quality things? What happened for them? I was one time if I talk about a lot of stuff, sorry, I want to say is what's the problem happened for U.S. Is it because others, or because people horrify too much? Or because before they too naive, now they horrified. So they be hurt, they become horrify everything. What's the reason about that? It's a question mark, everyone can think about it. So in supermarket, in COVID time, I was I'm not even close to that lady or that online. I was far from that. I want to go close to have a look at things. If curiosity for the store, whatever happened, you know, whenever I want to see. The lady say, "Oh, please keep distance with me, please." It means she's so scared, horrified about me. Look like I see a monster. I watch myself. Am I really a monster for people? They really scare me like that.
So a homeless woman said that to you, or someone in the store? Or
in the store, guess.
Like
the client. The client want to buy the things, you know, when they're online to check. They horrify everything. Horrify people clothes. Even they don't, not even clothes. Your head out a little bit. Your head just out a little bit to watch things. They already start to horrify. Horrify about people, each other.
People are scared of each other?
Yeah, scared each other.
Okay, yeah.
You're so, they don't want each other. Even in my house area, people don't say hello each other too. They don't say hello each other. They close the door. They keep distance. They're afraid that another one heard this one, heard another one. And I don't know. What? It's the same U.S. Why so different? What's going on?
We can talk about it potentially. With street epistemology, the way of having a conversation I'm trying to practice, we like to focus on a question, and then I like to just be in a role where I'm asking someone questions about what they believe and why, and helping them get clarity on the reasons for why they believe something. And
what's the U.S. really believe right now? They believe their self, or believe this country law, or believe God. What do you really believe? Or believe people friendly? Some people still have a good, nice people. Do you still believe, or you and I or all others still believe the world have nice people? Or they think everyone's bad, everyone means, everything is dark. Do they believe they have hope? Do they believe they have a God? Do they believe anything could be better? Do they believe everything? Some people have a kindness. Do they believe something what they never believed before? Yeah,
I
that's
don't
what I
know.
want to ask. There's
Yeah.
most of the kind of all you see multiple bad. So in the end, come back what you really believe.
What we really believe about
Yeah.
ourselves, the
Yeah.
country,
Yeah.
our fellow human beings.
How about yourself for yourself? Do you believe ourselves?
What do you mean?
Sometimes we fool ourselves. We believe the truth is we believe because we create the truth. Actually, not true. We often cheating ourselves. Also, personality create a problem too for ourselves. So how about that? They complain on other people. So how you think they can believe they have to believe themselves or don't believe themselves? Or the right point or wrong point?
Believe in ourselves in terms of our capacity or competence, that we can be a good person, that we can do good things in the world. How does this relate to problems in society and
I
homelessness?
think those problems is because people lose belief for this word. Also lose belief they are stronger to deal with the problem. They're actually weak. That's why they attack other people. They think, seem like China, they attack another people. This is weakness. Whenever here and there about someone attack others, at least they say the truth. I can understand. Say the truth is no problem, not attack. But if they don't say the truth, how about that? They don't want it into the hole. They say, oh, that's no connection with me. So they are weak.
The American people are starting to become weak, is what I'm hearing you saying?
Yeah, I
Or
always
are
think
weak?
American people are strong. As strong than China people. What I believe 10 years, yes.
10 years ago.
10 years ago, I believe U.S. much stronger personality. They're much brave than now. I think they lose kind of brave and face the truth, reality. Yeah, they actually lose that.
Huh. Okay. And then that causes problems like homelessness down the line. And
Yeah,
other
they
things.
don't want to face the homeless. They actually they see and pretend not see. Of course not. Some people still help. Not all of them not help. Some people still help. So do you think something changed? Or something not changed, just I haven't seen it.
I think something has changed, yeah, in the past 10 years for sure, in the U.S. culture.
Culture changed.
Yeah. That's a good question to focus on. What's the biggest change in American culture in the past 10 years?
Is it because U.S. people too nice, then face the China challenge badly, so they change? Change be another way? Is because this? Because of course China has responsible too, because they behave China not normal people. China government behave badly for that. It's true. So we have no choice for that. A lot of behavior it depends on the wise, not wise, the brain not right. So what you do? You can control other people's brain. You can't.
We can't do that.
We can't do that. Even media people cannot do that. They trying to make voice to make people understanding, but they don't want to understand it. You have no point to make understanding. They close the door like a stumble head. You never make them can reach, what you want to, on the point. So it's difficult. You want to change? I don't want to change the world. I also want people don't behave badly for other people. It's no reason. Treat anyone bad. Or I don't want people treat anyone good or treat anyone bad. Just watch the truth. They're able to watch the truth?
Do what they choose?
Truth.
Truth.
Yeah. Are they able to watch the truth?
Are they able to watch the truth?
Yeah, face the truth.
Faith the truth.
Yes.
Okay.
Are they able to see the problem for real or not imagination? Or fantasy problem for their own brain? Or just without, present the truth They have to see the truth, not only see the imagination. They sometimes it's imagination. China is same. It's too much imagination. The imagination, I don't want to say more. It's not allowed to say more because I think you understand about that. Too much imagination. And if everyone faces the truth, then I don't think I have problem for anything.
If everyone faced the truth, we would have less problems in the
Yes.
world.
And people say, I want to be happy. I don't want to be pain. That means they don't want to see anything painful be truth. They only see the sweet and then honey things, living the fair trade world about that. Is that truth?
Yeah.
That's not truth.
I'm hearing you say it's wise to value truth over comfort.
Yes. And then people either go very overconfident or less comfort. That's the problem. A tremendous left, a tremendous right. So when they face the trouble, they cannot handle anymore. They go too far. They cannot stay in the middle to face the truth, see the truth. That's what I mentioned for anything happen like that. It's a wonderful 10 years before, but a wonderful gone. Because it's too good and go to the backwards. Right? You agree?
I don't know. Potentially.
No.
What's a good question to focus on? There's the change in American culture, and the change in what people believe or facing the truth. And we have new, worse problems now, like homelessness. What's the cause of homelessness? What's a way to fix homelessness? These are some questions to potentially talk about.
Yes.
What would you want to talk about?
No more homeless. I just want to talk about people behave to homeless, lockdown. Why have so many homeless? Because the mental hospital canceled? Are those homeless because of drug problem? And why so many drug problem cannot deal with? Because of freedom? And homeless things project anyone to react to,
Okay. What is your primary hypothesis about the cause of homelessness in Los Angeles?
They have a lot of here. Yeah. And then you can smell the pee everywhere. The city is full of pee like a big toilet. I don't know what's going on. And then don't have public toilet for them. They have to pee everywhere about that. Are they allowed to let people make a movie or make a TV talk about homeless? Seriously talk about this.
They should make a documentary or TV show about homelessness and the seriousness of it?
I think I'll make that. I'm going to make that.
You're going to make that?
Yes.
Okay.
And I want to know why people think they're just unhopeless. But I think I have one experience for that. That's true. They can feel unhopeless because mental sick. I help one homeless people. But I have two of them. One is help is successful. That homeless guy is find a job.
Okay.
He was finally get a water carry job. He could survive.
A water carrier job?
Carry water.
He carries water?
Get payment. He can survive to live. And another homeless is get a mental problem. He never be fine. He actually Emmy winner.
An Emmy winner homeless person?
Yes, become homeless.
Wow.
Can't believe.
Crazy.
Yeah. So what's the expression for this? Some people normal, but they can fix it. But some people are normal because they win Emmy, but they also lost. So what expression this?
Yeah.
Any kind of homeless go to from a different area. Maybe not only from the low end. Some people is good. Maybe from divorce after be homeless or just go words after, mental problem. So what's happening? Even each one have different case.
Good.
Do you think that's good to talk about it?
Talk about
Homeless. Why becoming homeless? Yeah.
Why are more people becoming homeless?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can talk about that.
Yeah. Do you think the Walmart and then the lot of supermarket have people hired to be employed? Why they cannot work? Because they have mental problem. They cannot able to do normal work.
Mental problems is one reason.
they can, yeah, also maybe they don't want to work. Maybe drug, they don't work.
Drugs.
Mm.
Hmm.
And church give up to help them. Because before the church helped, yes?
Less charity from religious organizations. Okay.
Are those with the charity doing right now? They have a lot of charity in United States, correct? Not only one, have a lot.
Yeah.
Have a lot of association for charity, whatever that. Are they really doing that things right now?
So more mental illness, more drug abuse, and less charity.
And lose job people.
And less jobs.
Yes, a lot of people lose jobs.
Okay. These are some potential causes of homelessness. Any others? Anything else that's a major factor? Those are the main
I saw
ones.
homeless when I was in San Diego.
Yeah.
And when I go downstairs, everywhere is homeless. So it made me depression many years. Actually, people less sensitive that because they see every day. Then for me, it's hard because I was a fairy tale for United States. I think it's a fairy tale word. A lot of people say United States is wonderful, nice about that. Yes, I think so.
A fairy tale? The United States?
Yes.
You felt you saw the United States as that great of a place?
Yes.
From China?
Yeah. Before I was thinking that's a perfect place. It's a wonderful place, wonderful spiritual place. Yes, I did, which I did, because I heard my father talk about it. I heard my grandpa, from my family, my grandpa talk about it. Whenever that, they study a lot from that, then go back to our U.S. is a wonderful country, anything with that. It's true, have some wonderful part. Then I saw the homeless. I suddenly get a job. I said, wow, what's going on about that? The first what I see is this, and I'm more sensitive to that than people thought. They actually not sensitive, but I think there's a part of U.S. existed that things. And, people don't care. It's not don't care. They actually tell me, say they cannot do anything with that because they are lazy. They say they are lazy. They also mentally healthy. And then they also, I don't know. I have no idea. I was supposed to close them to talk about it, but I don't think they want to talk about a story for that. A few people want open mouths to say something. Some, I heard about it, some interview talk about they are divorced. Probably divorced, lose family, about that, become a depression, and then become homeless. Or you heard about something about that when they talk about it?
I haven't looked into it. That seems plausible. More divorce rates, more depression. Depression leads to homelessness. Yeah, makes sense to me.
Yeah. I don't know. I just heard about that. I haven't heard more. What's the problem for them? Basic, I have no idea. This part I couldn't see clearly about that.
Gotcha. Cool. Yeah. With street epistemology, we like to focus on a question to try to talk about that we could give reasons for. And I'm hearing like what and why questions, but I'd like to boil it down to a claim we can talk about. Something we could say is the case. Like we could pick one of them, maybe like...
Just pick up homeless subject, okay? No more this.
Okay. The homeless subject.
Yeah, how to solve problem homeless.
Yeah, what is the best way to solve the homelessness? What's
Get them job.
What's your answer for that?
Get them public place to live. Some place will make them live to somewhere. Have some job to do. Is that? Then solve this problem about that.
Okay.
United States have a lot of company dead, yes? They couldn't have any employee for that. A small company cannot hire employee, correct?
Small companies can't hire employees.
Cannot hire employee.
Okay.
Because the fee employee is too expensive.
Like the minimum wage is too high?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So how about this? Is it possible training those homeless able to work? Work for Walmart, work for the, or for the Coast Guard, and then work for any kind of supermarket. Work for some job people don't want to work. They're able to start like I would talk to that homeless guy. He's a musician. He don't have a job. He start to carry he's 70 past. He's old. So what he do is carry the water for people to get some payment. So I give him some small money. Then he able to look for job. Because he don't have money, he cannot even go there to look for job. Yes, give him little money, he can go find a job. So I give a little money, he find a job. So I solved one case. I cannot solve 1,000 case about that. I cannot, but just one case I solved. I don't know, just about homeless. What do you think about it?
What do I think about it? Yeah, I think the main issues is mental illness. So a solution to that would be better health care, better access to mental facilities, more of those potentially, and just drug abuse as well. The war on drugs, getting more of a better policy around the war on drugs, and more charity would help for sure.
I'll probably do some work
Yeah.
to solve this problem about that because I see the truth. So I talk this because I want to work on that. Probably soon I will work on it more, make more happens. But I will continue to talk to you because I don't know anyone can listen my talk or not. No matter, I still work on that. I still try to find a solution to deal with that, and then deal with the people not secure about this country, not secure about their money, not secure about people each other about that. I hope you and I could work on that. You can speech, I can do it.
I hope so too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Hope everything for my lifetime everything can be changed.
Hopefully.
Yeah, work on that.
Awesome.
And I hope someone unite with me together. You know, I can't work by myself. I use this together. I want to hope someone work with me together. You know, not only I'm work myself. I want to make a change. I talk about not only talk about. I want action. You know?
Yeah. Gotcha.
Think about it and get action on it. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. That's my things.
Thank you. And what was your name again?
Louise.
Louise.
Mm-hmm.
Have I talked with you before, or no?
No, never.
No. Okay, never mind. So great. Louis.
Louise. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Se.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Cool. My name is Reed. Nice to meet you, Louise.
Mm-hmm.
And hope to see you again. We can talk about it some more.
I think so. We'll see you again about that.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Nice to meet you. Sweet. Thanks. Thank you. Did you forget your bag? There's a bag over here. Yeah. Thanks. You too. What's a good way to focus on a question for something like that? Huh. It's interesting. Huh. I could have, like, what is the best way to solve homelessness? And then have an additional post-it note with an answer. Confidence per answer. Yeah, I like that. Hmm. Hmm. So if I had this topic, what are the best solutions for homelessness? I could put the question here. Now what? More housing, is that an option? What did they say? Job training? So it's like job training would go there. Would each answer have its own? Or is it like the set of answers? Huh. I want the yellow to be the question. So an answer could be the yellow post-it note. How about white? The biggest hang up with that last conversation was me trying to figure out how to get my system here going. Because when we focus on what or how or why questions, those don't lend themselves to binary yes-no confidence. So how can I get focused on a binary question? What are the best solutions for homelessness? Job training. Hey, what's up, y'all? Sure, feel free. Is it out in the cooler there?
Yeah.
I'll have to put some more.
Thank you.
How was your hike?
It's good. It's a wonderful day.
Pretty fun. How's your day going?
Going great. Just hanging out here. It's my YouTube channel hobby. Chatting with people about whatever they believe and why.
Okay, I like that. What's your name?
Reed.
Reed, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
What's your topic?
I leave it open for people to pick whatever. I have broad questions there on the board. We talked about with homelessness and the solutions for homelessness earlier. What else did we talk about?
The biggest problem that no one is talking about?
Yeah, talked with someone about climate change and the meat industry.
I want to be part of it.
You want to do it?
Yes.
Okay, great.
One question.
One question?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like to focus on one question.
Let's do it.
You want to do it?
Yep.
All right.
I'll put another one too.
Great. For later. Alrighty, welcome.
Thank you.
Nice. Can I get your first name?
Yoli, Y-O-L-I.
I-O-L-I.
Yeah.
Gotcha. My name is Reed.
Hi, Reed.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah. Do you come to the park often?
I like to go to the park just because it feels like you're restarting your whole body.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's very evident for me in my life that I need to do every day. And mostly I like to do it when we start the week. So
Awesome. Nice. Cool. Want to do headphones?
I don't have headphones. Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Okay.
It helps to hear.
Tell me.
Helps to hear ourselves a little better.
Oh, so much better.
Yeah. Any time commitments? There's a little timer there if you need to set a timer.
Yeah, for sure.
Good. How much time do you want to chat for?
Good. Just, yeah.
As long as we want to go.
Awesome.
Let me know. All right, so great. What I do here is like to practice this way of having conversations called street epistemology. It's a Socratic style where I mainly ask questions to help people reflect on what they believe and why, and how we know those potential reasons are good reasons or not. So I mainly just keep my opinion out of it and ask questions and help get clarity.
I like that. Like not like being like Swiss, not have just be in the middle.
Yeah, I don't want to be make a debate or anything or an argument, but I do
Mhm.
want to help potentially challenge whatever we're talking about in a collaborative way to see if whatever we think is true or not.
Healthy conversations.
Yeah. Okay. So there were a few topics over there on the board. Anything to talk about there or something else?
On the board.
Over there, it's, let me see. I'll bring up the post-it note app I have.
Yeah.
I think one question was, what are the main problems we now face as a society? What's the biggest problem no one is talking about? What is true that's not allowed to be said? Stuff like that.
I like it. So I just have to pick one of those from one of those?
Yeah, one of any of those questions sound interesting? Or I
Yeah.
can keep going.
No, they do. I like to talk about the things that nobody's talking. I think that I like that topic.
Yeah, what's the biggest problem no one is talking about?
I think right now we sort of have this taboo around conversations that are just normal, like what we should be having every day with like our friends, our family, our spouses. And that can go from like anything that's normal as to like, example, like sexual interactions as well as like what is your political views. I feel like those topics are becoming very taboo around a lot of people, and they're not feeling comfortable to have them with just anybody that they know, just because they're afraid of being canceled or disliked by the generation that we're living on. And so I think it's kind of fun to talk about that.
Yeah, is it fair to say cancel culture or something is the biggest problem no one's talking about, or
I feel,
something like that?
Yeah, I know that we're humans and we are not perfect. We don't always have the correct information, but it's beautiful that as we are not perfect, we should be striving to have that knowledge of knowing and like reading and getting a lot of more information that we like it's accessible to us right now. The news outlets, I feel like they don't give you the whole information for you to know everything. And so I think it's easier for you to get into the cancel culture and say, I don't want to associate myself with this. I don't want to get into this subject or this person or this whereabouts just because you already canceled them. Instead of just hearing the whole truth, gathering more information. And I think we should be more open to that.
People should be more open to gathering the truth, getting more information so they can talk about it
Yes,
more
in a healthy way.
In a healthy way.
In a healthy way, because now, for example, in news outlets, you'll hear the three first words of the news, and then you're already making your speculations of the subject, instead of like really reading the whole article. Because I know I find myself sometimes doing that, like listening to a news outlet or something that a friend said, and they already said three words, and that could be a lie, that could be the truth, but not the whole truth. And I think as a generation, we have to really, focus ourselves and really gathering all the information and all the A points and B points and C points of the matter to make a conscious decision and not just cancel it.
Right. People aren't getting enough of information about problems. Maybe someone is trying to talk a little bit about it, but then someone will come in and like criticize someone, even though.
Exactly. And maybe that is not your personal opinion, and maybe you don't agree with it, but not because you don't agree with it, you're not going to be open to listening to them. I feel like as a generation, we're really forgetting to listen. And even though you don't have to agree with it.
Mm-hmm. So, let's try to boil down this to the question. The question is, what's the biggest problem no one's talking about? And one answer potentially is cancel culture, or something about not being able to listen, or people not being able to talk to each other. What's a good answer to this question to talk about?
I would say that we're not. Can you repeat the question again? Sorry.
What's the biggest problem no one is talking about?
I feel like nobody's talking enough.
The lack of being able to talk.
Hmm.
That's the biggest problem.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like in a civilized matter.
The lack of civil discourse.
Yeah, I would say. Because now you can block somebody, you can mute them, you don't have to have any association with them. If you don't want to, you can ghost them. I know that I do that a lot. You know, if you don't want to associate yourself to that person, instead of just being open to having, like I said, like I'm trying to have healthy conversations.
Yeah. How about this as a claim to talk about or a question? The lack of civil discourse is a problem.
I love that.
All right. Stick it on here to talk about. And then I have a little confidence scale. If all the way to the right, black is absolutely yes.
Okay.
The lack of civil discourse is a problem, or not sure, or absolutely no.
Okay.
Where's your current confidence about it on your confidence scale?
I would say that I would be like a little bit halfway more, like I would be like right there, just because obviously I would love to be perfect and to be completely open to, you know, get rid of the discourse and really be open to talking about the problem. And I would say that I don't do that in my present day just because I don't put myself in a situation where I could do it. If I know that if I'm surrounded in a situation that I'm willing to open myself to it, and I just don't feel like I put myself in the present to do that more. So I would like to be here, but I'm here, honestly.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if we can quantify the level of civil discourse in society. Let's say the United States society. Has it gotten worse over the past 10, 20 years?
I would say yes. Now I feel like as a society we're very divided, and we keep making these subsections of any discourse problems that we may face as a generation.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just difficult to be more open with more people. And I feel like that's definitely been more present in the last 10 to 20 years for sure.
Okay. Let's try to like quantify this on a scale. If 0 is no one can really talk about anything, it's all being censored. People are just really afraid to talk everywhere about everything. And 10 is like people are totally able to talk about whatever in a civil way, and it's just all conversation. It's perfectly civil in society. Where is the United States right now on that scale, you think?
I would say it's pretty divided. I would say 50-50.
We're at a 5 out of 10 on that scale.
Yeah, 5 out of 10.
Okay.
For sure.
Where should it be, ideally? Is it, you know...
Obviously, I think 10 in a perfect world
Mm-hmm.
that I sometimes live in my head. But the present, I feel like it's very divided. And I know that we, as a generation that we have right now, I feel like we have the power to change that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's through talking. That's through saying how we feel, being honest, letting that, like I said, like that freak flag fly. And just, if you're not harming anybody, if you're just trying to seek the truth and live peacefully and make your dreams come true, I feel like if you're not harming anybody, you should be all right.
Mm-hmm. All right. So the problem is we're not at a 10, we're at a 5.
Yeah.
We want to get to a 10 eventually.
Yes.
And like 10 years ago, were we in the same spot on that scale or different?
Oh no, I think 10 years ago we probably were like at a 4 or 3.5.
In terms of the level of civil discourse?
No, in terms of the openness that we have as a society,
Okay.
of having
we had more civil discourse in the past or less?
We would have more discourse.
More.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
If all the way to the right is more, like
some
is
more.
maximum.
Somewhere. So yeah, I would say like an 8.5.
We were about there 10 years
Yeah.
ago,
Yeah.
but now we're back to a 5. In the middle.
Yeah. I think so.
Okay. Wow.
I would say this kind of lost me. So
Yeah,
don't.
that's fine.
This kind.
That can be your confidence about this as a problem.
Okay.
You can use this as the potential different scale.
There you go. No, don't worry. Don't worry. I would say like now. I think in the past there were less conflict because people were having less conversations, but it was still present. People just weren't talking about it.
Okay.
Now it's more visible
Mm-hmm.
because we're talking more about it. We're not staying silent, but the discourse went up as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so we just need to find a happy medium where we could be more open and have less discourse.
Yeah, there's a lot more discourse, people talking to each other, but it's not very civil.
Exactly.
Like the discourse level has gone way up,
Mm-hmm.
thanks to like Twitter and Facebook and the internet. So, but we want the civil discourse level to be high, not general discourse level.
Exactly.
All right. And want to talk about this for a little bit more? Or
No,
wrap
I
it up?
think you've been amazing. Thank
Okay.
you for just getting to the bottom of what I was trying to say.
No worries.
And yeah, I hope that you have more Discord conversations with other people.
Thanks, Yoli.
Yes,
Appreciate it.
of course.
Have a great day.
Awesome.
And feel free to take a puzzle piece if you want to, as a reminder. It's a little squishy thing.
I'll leave it. This one, as I said.
One of those squishy puzzle pieces. You can come if you
they're
see me again.
cute.
You can get another one.
I'll leave it to somebody else. They're so cute. Can I take a picture of them though?
Sure.
I love it.
Have stickers too. Or...
I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. My friend wants to. I think he wants to do it.
No, I'm good, thank you.
You sure?
But
Okay.
you're here pretty often because I've seen.
Yeah, I try to be here on Sundays.
Oh, on Sundays?
Yeah.
Well, whenever I see a subject that I want to talk about, I'll be with you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you. Oh yeah, pie chart. Pie chart. That's a good idea. Great idea. Pie chart. Hello, how are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
Good. Are we out of water?
Oh, no, you're good about the water. What do you guys do? Is this like a podcast? That's really cool. Good luck.
Austin does actually. And then,
Yeah, I want to get different kinds of scales to not confuse people. Like, that's a okay confidence scale format. But I want just like a sliding scale, a pie chart scale. That would be great. Some kind of pie chart thing. How could we do that? What's a good... I could draw it. I could draw a pie chart. Yeah, trying to get clarity there. Yeah, at what level is the level of civil discourse becoming a problem? Is it anything less than a 10? I guess so. I guess it's more of a problem the less it is. And if we're at a 5, that's a big problem, I assume. Yeah, I have a dry erase marker. But back to the homelessness question, if I have a type of... What question? If I wanted to discuss what are the best solutions for homelessness, yeah, I could have put a yellow as the question, a white as one answer, white one per answer. What are the best solutions? What is the best solution? Is. I like that. What is, or what are the best? And then I could put, yeah. Yeah. Let me try this. Hey, what's up? Hi. No, this is really at the claim level. It's like trying to clarify the claim in relation to a what question. What are the best solutions for homelessness? And it's like, let's say that the two best solutions are, what do we say? Job training and what else? Job training and mental health care or something. Let's say those two, let's say we had 5 potential answers. I could put one answer on each of the white cards, white post-it notes. And of the 5, we picked the 2 are the best. So then that would convert the claim into job training and mental health care are the best solutions for homelessness. Great. Then I can get a binary confidence on that claim. The best solutions. Is that clear enough? The best. What does that mean? We can clarify what the best means. Like the best means the most effective at changing or dealing with a problem. Yeah. And then we would have, I assume, reasons related to job training, reasons related to mental health care, and then we could weigh those reasons. Yeah, that sounds interesting. Should it be white or blue? Blue. Oh no. Ugh. All right. I think I should get a different color. A hypothesis color. Because this is for questions. This is for definitions. Reasons for, reasons against, and premises in the reasons. I need a hypothesis color. What would be a good color for the hypothesis? Hi.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Doing well. Just hanging out, doing some interviews for my hobby podcast.
Cool. Can I
Want
input?
to? Sure. Any opinions on any of that? Feel free.
All of them.
Feel free to grab the one you want to talk about.
Let's see. The biggest problem I was talking about.
Yeah, thank you. How was your hike?
It was good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, interesting.
It's getting less hot. That's very nice.
Huh?
It's getting not as hot. It's
Yeah, it was just hot enough.
just hot enough.
Yeah, to where you feel the
Mhm.
heat, but it's not like exhausting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you come to the park often?
Mm-mm.
No.
This is my first time here.
Oh, first time.
I tried to go up there at the north entrance once, but
Oh.
it was a little too crowded and I couldn't park and
It's
I gave
hard
up.
up there for sure. Even
Yeah.
though it is hard down here too.
Mm,
Yeah.
easier.
Easier.
Yeah, more options.
Yeah. How'd you like the hike? Which side did you get? Or yeah.
So I went up this first main walk first, but it ended so quickly I thought. I didn't know you could go up past the no trespassing sign.
Oh.
I guess you can.
Yeah, you just keep
You go
going.
around.
You go, yeah, to the left, yeah.
Yeah, but I went this way and it was nice and I'll go that way next time. I'll be back.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it a lot. It's good. Good spot for this type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me explain what I'm doing. Want your headphones though?
Sure.
Okay, great. Checkity check.
Check, check.
Yep. Yeah, I'm trying to practice this way of having conversations called street epistemology. Have you heard of it?
A little bit, like Steven Crowder, kind of.
Not exactly Steven Crowder. It's like change my mind. It's not so much change my mind. It's like, what do you believe and why, and are those good? Are those wise good reasons?
Time, 1
Okay.
hour,
Sorry.
15 minutes. Distance, 2 point.
Nice.
There we go.
So it's more of a Socratic method type of way of having conversations where I keep my opinion out of it. You're not trying to convince me of anything.
Okay.
I'm just trying to help get clarity on what we're talking about.
Okay.
And it's more of a collaboration where we're trying to figure out together if whatever we're thinking about is true and if we have good reasons for it.
Okay.
Yes, and you picked this topic. What's the biggest problem no one is talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, what are some potential answers to this question that we could talk about?
I would say communism.
Communism.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. And did I get your first name, sorry?
Andrea.
Andrea, gotcha.
And what's yours?
My name is Reed.
Reed. Okay.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
All right, so communism is one of the biggest problems no one is talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Great. I'll put that as an answer. That is the answer to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
All right, great.
That's all I got.
That's all I got. Sweet. We can talk about that. And what do you mean by that?
Just the whole implementation of it into society on every level, in every dynamic, in every thought, in every certain lane of marketing, in every, it's all over the place, it's mixed in, but there's two sides. There's the communist and then there's the anti-communist, the capitalists.
Mm-hmm.
So I just feel like there's one line right down the middle and you're either on one side or the other side, and if you're not on one side, you're on the communist side.
Gotcha.
Or you just don't know, and then that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's not okay, but I give you a pass.
Cool. And for people who don't know or just want more clarity, what do you mean by communism?
I mean just the subtle way that things are being implemented into our educational system, into the court system, how we have no control, but we're led to think that we have a voice, but we don't. So the election fraud, that's the biggest one that I can think of right now. It's getting harder and harder to make it, I feel like, for people, like to keep your rights. Yeah. I mean, it's such a broad subject. I don't know exactly where to pinpoint. Especially in California, the way that they're just increasing taxes over and over and over, and it's so expensive that so many people have just left.
Mm-hmm.
Or they don't even want to buy any real estate here, and everybody just wants to rent. They don't understand the value of real things.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So a lot of what I'm hearing is like there's just some corruption potentially, or there's some type of phenomenon which is causing bad things to happen in society, and we're labeling that right now communism.
Mm-hmm.
That's the broad label for it. Okay.
Yeah, but I think it's the absence of morals and the absence of ethics in business, the absence of accountability, the absence of finding your true self. So just valuing silence, or valuing differences in people, or valuing and respecting somebody's belief or non-belief in God.
Uh-huh.
I just think that people are going a million miles a minute and nobody wants to slow down.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, so yeah, I'm still wondering about what we mean by communism a little bit. What is the biggest problem within this communism that we can talk about potentially? Maybe something more specific.
More specific. Just the fact that nobody really understands it. Do you know? Do you have any opinion on it?
Yeah, when I hear communism, I hear like an economic or like a very broad system of like, not valuing private property or something related to the means of production being not, the state owning the means of production, that type of thing? Or is it something different in your mind?
Yes, and it's something different in my mind though. I just think that it's subtly being pushed onto us for that bigger purpose, and people just don't see it. So I'm trying to think of a good example. Really, the election. I mean, the election was totally a mess, and you have all these people that say that they voted for Trump, and then you have a lot of people that say they didn't vote for Biden and they didn't want Biden in there, and then you have this whole scam in multiple states, and it's just the fact that they're not looking into it when there's so many facts proving that there was cheating, the Dominion machines and all that. So that's the biggest example that I can think of, but it's more of a broad thing that I'm thinking, because I feel like it's such a big change in the way that people live that it's got to come in at every angle. So it's coming in through the schools, came in big with COVID, the masks, and just saying that we couldn't go outside, and saying that we weren't allowed to sing during Christmas, and saying that we couldn't get together with our families over the holidays, taking away our rights, basically. So that's the biggest issue.
Biggest issue is the taking away of rights.
Yeah.
That we have. For example, the freedom for association, freedom of speech stuff. What are the rights? I don't want to assume. What do you mean by that? What rights are at risk?
Freedom of speech. The practicing religion, freedom to practice religion.
Freedom of religion.
Yeah, right to bear arms. They want to take away guns. The right to free and fair elections.
Free and fair elections.
The right to our ability to work. They're taking away people's jobs. People couldn't work for months on months on months.
Right to work.
Yeah. So now a lot of people are just, they might have lost their job. They might have, personally, I didn't lose my job, but, I got close to losing the passion for my career, because it was such a big shift in the outside environment that it made things go a little haywire for me in my head. So just a lot of, losing of our rights at one time. I feel like there was a major push in the communist direction.
Yeah, we're labeling these threats to these rights as communism. That's the phenomenon. We're labeling this threat to all these rights. That's the biggest problem. Oh dear. Anyway, that's the biggest problem no one's talking about. How confident are you about this? Say on a scale from all the way to the right, black is absolutely yes, or in the middle, not sure, or all the way to the left, white is not, absolutely no. This is not the biggest problem no one's talking about?
It's the biggest problem. Absolutely.
Okay. You can move that all the way to the right then, or wherever you think is best. It is the biggest problem?
Yes. Because it's every problem. It's the reason people don't get along. It's the reason people don't listen to each other. It's the reason people hate. So.
Okay. And want to keep talking about that? I can get your reasons about it.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the biggest reason for being at that level of confidence about this?
Because I've seen it. I've dealt with it when I didn't even know that I was dealing with it, and then I dealt with it when I start to understand it a little bit more. But going from
a certain point in our economy where things were not so good. And then going from 2016 until 2020, things completely, they changed. They totally opened up. I feel like America had a lot of hope, and things were moving, the economy was moving again. But then there was just all this hate going towards anybody who wore a red t-shirt or a red hat or said they were conservative or said that they voted for Donald Trump, anything like that. Or if they just, if they weren't hated, they just couldn't talk about it. They were shamed, at least. And it was in everything. I mean, it was, if you dressed a certain way, listened to a certain type of music, if you went to certain places, it was just in everything. And this whole culture of hating an American, basically.
Okay. What I'm hearing you say is, over the past maybe 5 or 6 years, there's been a cultural change in America where people are starting to criticize America itself? Or is that what I'm hearing?
Americans. Yeah.
Like Americans are being vilified, or some of them.
Some of them, yeah. If they didn't go with this whole agenda of the left.
Intolerance from the left increased? That's the reason?
Yeah.
Intolerance from the left increased.
I wouldn't say everybody on the left, but from the top of the left. So they projected this whole idea that people who thought a certain way or acted a certain way or voted for a certain people or certain person, Donald Trump, they were bad people. They were racist people. They were stupid people. They were this or that, and it was all bad. When none of that was true. I mean, there's bad people on both sides, and there's good people on both sides. But it was one side pinned against the other side. So I'm not necessarily saying everybody on one side or the other is good or bad, because I think there's great people on both sides. But it's this division that's come into the parties, and it's neither one nor the other. It's not Republican nor Democrat. It's the communist. So it's like, and it might not be quote unquote a communist, but it's leading towards a communist culture to where there's no tolerance for anything that's different. There's no individualism. It's all community, community thought. And I love community co-progression, but everybody's got to be an individual. So it's not equality, it's equity. But, if you don't work for this water bottle and I worked for the water bottle, well then, I get the water bottle. So it's just, it's one or the other, and people can't expect to get a return on something when they haven't put in what they need to put in. And so there's just this sense of entitlement, and then it just creates this division in the population.
Yeah, division. Like, what I'm hearing say is elite people from the left are causing division. Is that fair, or what's a better way to phrase that?
Mostly them.
You said something left from the top. What do you mean by that?
I think it's people that hold the most influence. So
influential people from the left are causing intolerance?
Yeah, and the right.
Okay.
It's both sides.
Polarization is increasing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the cause of the polarization is coming mostly from which side?
I think it's coming mostly from the left. But it's just this whole idea of no tolerance for one side or the other. And I had it for a little while where I didn't want to work with anybody that said they were different than me, because I was so sick of it. And I didn't want to be around anybody that was that way. And I'm not that way anymore. I'm more willing to, not just think in one way. I'm very open-minded, but I was so open-minded for so long, and that I didn't know who I was. So I would believe things that I heard from other people, or that I saw on TV, or that I read, and I thought that I was wrong in my true core values. And then when I started to go back to those and just trust those, everything opened up for me. So I think that people have forgotten how to trust themselves and how to trust the core values of their country. And in that, they don't know who they are, and they don't know what they stand for. So they stand for all these things that are thrown at them through the pop culture.
Gotcha. Yeah, you've seen a bunch of bad values getting out there, and you return to your own values, and that's made your life better.
Yeah, it did. Almost right away. It's been a long road, and you have to stick to those values, and it's hard sometimes. I mean, it just gets lonely. It's not really hard, but there's no true happiness in codependence. And I feel like this, the communism thought idea, the communist culture, is people depending on each other for things.
A culture of dependence?
Yeah.
Culture of dependence.
And so if you can't create things on your own and think of things on your own and be on your own, then you never really know what makes you truly happy. And that's just kind of like an epidemic that's in our culture, and I was right at the heart of it. I mean, cute dog. And so many people are, and they don't even know it, or they're just complacent and they're happy, and they think they're happy, or maybe they're truly happy, and that's just what they want to be, is codependent. But that can't last forever. I feel like when you're younger, it's easier to find codependent happiness, but maybe as you grow older, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, because you were always with another person or other people, and then you just have this misery and regret, and it's sad. Mm-hmm. Sadness and agony, sadness, it projects onto your family, your friends, the people around you. So it's just a sad way to progress in life.
Gotcha. All right. Now the next stage is to talk about how much we should weight these reasons, or we could brainstorm potential reasons against this. Want to check in and see if you want to keep going?
We could go for a little bit longer, yeah. I feel like now my wheels are spinning a little bit.
Okay, great.
At first I was kind of all over the place.
That's cool. What I'm hearing is like 3 main reasons to why the biggest problem no one is talking about is communism, is that there's a decrease in tolerance, there's an increase in polarization, and an increase in culture of dependence. Mm-hmm. Any other main reasons to put on here?
No, I think that's good.
Those are good ones?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, lack of clarity on what communism means. Just the threats to these are of like the general American rights, like freedom of speech, religion, the right to bear arms, free and fair elections, and right to work, and the general culture of like individualism and equality, not equity and not collectivism. That stuff is under threat from some ideology we're right now labeling communism. And these are our reasons to think that is the case. Mm-hmm. Are these good reasons to think that's the case? What do you think?
I think the best reason is the increase in the culture of dependence.
That's the best reason?
Yeah. Okay. I've been noticing that a lot lately. I kind of went through stages of noticing different things at different times in my evolution of this thought. But the decrease in tolerance was the first one. And I think that's getting better slowly. So that's That's good. But the increase in a culture of dependence is huge. I mean, people gotta have something all the time. They have to have a Starbucks. They have to have Netflix. They have to have Hulu. They have to have music on. They have to have something to eat. They have to have, it's just something all the time.
Okay. How does that relate to one of these reasons?
The increase in a culture of dependence.
Oh, dependence.
Yeah. So it's not just on people, other people, but it's on things and food and entertainment.
Okay. And what is the opposite of a culture of dependence? Or
maybe a culture of independence.
Yeah. What does that look like?
Just a lot less greedy. A lot less, and I think people are greedy without even knowing it. Like not in an extreme way, but just in a way of they're just excessive with things, with spending, with consumption. So yeah, I guess a culture of independence would just be a lot more, people would buy less stuff they don't need, and they would say less that they don't need to say. And it would be a little bit more, society would probably be a little bit more efficient.
Efficient? Okay.
More efficiency, less facade. Less of a facade.
Okay.
In people's presentation.
And what's the problem with dependence, just to recap and get clarity again?
It's taking away people's ability to find God.
Okay. Any other downsides to dependence?
Yeah, I think it creates bad situations where they end up married and maybe divorcing, or married and having children and divorcing and then ruining that child's life. Hopefully the child's okay later in their life, but it just creates this whole snowball of negative action and reaction, and it's people can be saved from it, but some people aren't. So if people weren't as dependent and didn't get into relationships because they thought they had to be in one and they were too afraid to be alone, have children because they think they're supposed to have them, a lot of bad people would turn good. And a lot of bad people, maybe they might not turn good, and that's great because they wouldn't reproduce. So I think that this whole codependence, and then people get together and maybe it's two codependent people, so there's no control, and there might not be any real growth, and it's just two people wasting time. And then they create something together, and a lot of the times they create chaos, and it goes out into the world, and it's either bad or it ends up being good after a little bit of bad. But
to recap, the problems with dependence is it first and foremost takes away the ability to find God, and it leads to a lack of control, a lack of growth, and an increase in chaos. That's fair. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest reason we're saying right now for why communism is the biggest problem.
Yeah, like I said, this one at the beginning of 2016, that was my biggest one. And then I would say this one was in the middle, and this is where I'm at right now.
Okay. I have a fun way to measure the size of, or the weight of a reason. So I have like 5 blocks in that little blue box there. We can put a color for this reason. Let's pick a color for that reason, whatever you want.
We could do yellow.
All right, yellow for that reason. We have up to 5 blocks in weight for that reason. The bigger the weight, the stronger the reason, the better the reason. So how many of 5 in terms of the weight of this reason is this reason?
3.
It's just a 3 right now?
Yeah.
But it is the biggest reason?
Yeah, that I can think of at the moment.
Okay.
Because I think a little bit of cohabitance is necessary and it's okay, but people just get too dependent on other things and other people.
Okay, we can simulate the weight in our argument by putting 3 yellow blocks on the right side.
Okay.
If you want, it's fun. There we go. So now we're trying to kind of proportion our confidence to the evidence. So like you're all the way to the right now. What's causing you to be all the way to the right, as in like all the way down here?
Okay.
So I'm like, now we're trying to figure out, and how much would these weigh each? What colors would you give those?
I would give polarization 2.
Okay.
Maybe 3.
3?
Yeah, because I've become quite polarized.
I'm going to do red for that.
Okay. And then decrease in tolerance. Do another 3.
Okay.
Green.
All right, now we're starting to match your confidence level.
So, I guess we could put that, you know, the lack of discussion. No, I don't want to say that. There's something that I'm missing there. I don't know, I'm stuck.
You're wondering about a potential other reason to think this is true?
Yeah.
What comes to mind about it?
No accountability. People aren't able to hold themselves accountable for things. And they don't take responsibility. Lack of responsibility. Personal responsibility.
A decrease in responsibility?
Yeah, a decrease in personal responsibility.
A decrease in personal responsibility.
Yeah, and ethical, a decrease in education and ethics.
Okay, a decrease in ethics in general?
Okay.
What color should we give this one?
White.
White.
Yeah, and we could give that 3 as well.
3. Decrease in ethics. That's the best way to phrase it. Ethics is the word to use for that?
Ethical,
morals, virtue, ethics, morals, values. That's fine. Decrease in ethics.
Yeah, I think that's a good one for kind of capturing every part of society.
Okay. All right. Recheck in. Next up in the way of having conversations is to figure out how we're weighing these. What method we're using to weigh these. And is that a good method for giving that reason that amount of weight? That's where we could go next. But
Okay.
First up, how much weight for this?
Let's do 3.
3 again.
Yeah.
Yeah, how did you determine the weight of these reasons?
I just kind of thought of of how big of a problem I've seen it be personally. And I feel like they're all pretty equal. So 3 because they're all really big problems, but there are good people, and there are people that have struggled with each one of the problems, possibly on both sides of it, and they are the reason for the problems being solved because they worked through it, and maybe they made the wrong choice, but they came back and they utilized their ability to take personal responsibility, and they're helping to fix things. So, but that goes down to probably their core values and their morals and their trust in a God, or just their trust in themselves. It doesn't have to be God, but that right there, that trust that people have in themselves in order to turn around out of all the negativity is what's being attacked with all of these things because of communism. So that once people lose that ability to know how to trust themselves and their instincts, sometimes it's too late and they can't come back. And then they're gone. And then they have no base of morals to go off of. They have no understanding of themselves or of a God or of religion or of how valuable it can be, because all they've listened to is negative negative thoughts on it, possibly. And then say they procreate, and then they just create another person who thinks like that. Maybe that person will be saved down the road, maybe not. And then it just makes this whole population of people that don't have any of these core values that America was founded in.
Yeah. Gotcha. So, good stuff there. But I'm still wondering about what I'm hearing you say is the way you weighted these reasons is you kind of just thought about the scale of each problem, and like in terms of like the scale of societal problems, each of these are like in the middle.
Yeah.
They're not nothing, but they're not everything. They're each in the middle in terms of the scale of a problem. And we try to get clarity.
They're all pretty big problems. And they're all there. Just when I think one's gone away, it pops up again. But it's because I've gotten into this one. Like I've just kind of polarized myself. And I don't want to do that. It's just a natural defense mechanism that my my body does. I just pull away.
Yeah, let me try to map out an argument for this reason, just to get really clear. We're saying the biggest problem no one is talking about is communism, and the reason for that is because there's a decrease in ethics. So the premises in here is like the United States population is decreasing in ethics, and a decrease in ethics is a problem.
It doesn't drive business. When you don't have ethics in business, business doesn't thrive.
Yeah.
For everyone. It thrives maybe for the unethical group that are forcing it to thrive for them.
And a third premise in there is that the primary reason for the decrease in ethics is because of this ideology of communism. Is that part of the argument?
I think it comes from the culture of it, the actions of it, the absence of morals, the lack of ability to take personal responsibility. So it's the problem of communism is creating the decrease in ethics. Do you kind of get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Communism, when implemented, decreases ethics. That's part of the claim?
Yes.
How so? How does that work?
Because people have no they lose their how am I going to say this? They don't know how to trust themselves. They just listen to what other people are telling them to do. And they don't think about whether it's right or wrong. And they just do it because somebody told them to do it. And maybe they don't think about not whether it's right or wrong, but do they really want to do it? Why are they doing it? They're just doing it because they're supposed to do it. So in that blind direction that they're going, or in that blind instruction that they're taking without any of their own thought, they might get to a point in the road where they have to make a decision that's a little bit of an ethical dilemma, and they make the wrong decision because they don't know how to think. They don't have critical thinking skills anymore. So, I mean, ethics aren't always black and white. You don't always, know exactly what to do. Sometimes you make a choice and it was a hard choice to make, and maybe it weighs you down a little bit, but then you think about it later and you're like, oh, I'm really glad I made that decision because that was actually the ethical thing to do. And I didn't even know why I made that choice, but I did, and I'm so glad I did. Because you have this habit of critical thinking skills and trusting your instincts, and you go with that. So when this culture of communism is pushed on you, where people have forgotten how to critically think, and they have forgotten what God is, and they've forgotten how to connect with themselves, and they've forgotten how to take responsibility when they're wrong, and they've forgotten how to work hard for everything that they have, and they've forgotten how to be an individual, then they don't know how to handle these ethical dilemmas when they're presented unless somebody's telling them what to do.
Yeah, what I'm hearing you say is this culture of communism denigrates critical thinking and promotes a kind of blind obedience.
Mm-hmm.
Is that fair?
Yeah, right on the dot.
Okay. Why is that true?
Because that's how humans, that's how we are. That's how, if something is trained into people long enough, and then all of a sudden things shut down and people go into a depression, they have no hope, and then they really forget how to think, and then they're really just trying to survive. So, if you're being told how to think and what to think for a certain period of time, and it's always around you, and pop culture is pulling you in that direction also, then eventually that's just how you are. You're a product of your environment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if someone wanted to check the accuracy of this claim that a culture of communism promotes blind obedience,
Mm-hmm.
how would they go about checking the accuracy of that?
It would take them a while. They just have to observe. I mean, there's nothing that I can pinpoint to exactly that says this proves it right here. But they have to do research. I mean, they have to read the Communist Manifesto. They have to look at, go to the Museum of Tolerance, go to the Holocaust survivor exhibits that we have, and research about how life was for the Jewish people before the Holocaust, and how it started, and look at pop culture and look at the intolerance that's happening, and look at the people that are speaking out now that might have leaned a little bit more to the left previously, but then they're starting to get hit with it, and they're like, no, I don't think so, this isn't what I want to say, this isn't what I want to do. So there's a lot of people that are realizing it now too, and that's good, that's great. But that's why I think this one is, maybe we're at 2 with this one. We'll go 2.
2 with that one?
Yeah.
I'll take that one.
There you go. So it's just, there's no one thing, and that's the scary thing, is there's no one way to prove it.
There's no one way. There's no, finding a passage in the Communist Manifesto where they say, in communism, we recommend you blindly obey whatever we say.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, there might be. I don't know it word for word. I've only kind of read it once. But it's short. People could read it, but there's just not, the proof is in the pudding. So it's not like one book that you can read and all of a sudden you believe everything that you've ever, wanted to believe. It takes time. But once people have the ability to be tolerant and listen to one another and start to take personal responsibility and grow, all these things start to come together and then they might see it. So it takes time and it takes tolerance and it takes personal responsibility.
Hmm. Yeah, I'd love to potentially talk about, if you have time, a way to test the accuracy of potentially one or more of the premises that are in these reasons, or we could wrap it up and talk about
Sorry.
some other time, whatever you want to do.
Okay, repeat the question. We could be quick.
Yeah, each of these reasons potentially has one or more, or at least two premises, like the decrease, communism causes a decrease in personal responsibility is a premise within this reason, and the decrease in personal responsibility is a problem. That's one. What is a premise that I'd like to talk about? We could go with that. How does personal responsibility relate to communism? What does communism have to say about personal responsibility? Like, what's good evidence for that?
I just think that people don't they don't know how to take responsibility for their own happiness, mostly. And that could be related to the increase in the culture of dependence. But it's in every part of life. It's in business that people don't have personal responsibility. They blame things on one another or on their client or on circumstance when it was really just their fault. But what was the question?
How do we know communism has anything to say about personal responsibility, or how do we know communism, this ideology, relates to a decrease in personal responsibility in U.S. culture?
Yeah.
If that even is true.
It's true
that there's a decrease in personal responsibility in the culture.
I think there is, and it's not everybody, but there definitely is.
Yeah, I want to talk about that premise. It is the case that there is a decrease in personal responsibility in the United States in the past 6 years, 10 years?
10 years.
We'll say 10 years.
10, 15.
What's the best evidence of that?
I was going to say something, but I won't say
it. Well.
I won't say that.
Right.
The best evidence of the decrease in personal responsibility is the intolerance, the hate, the whole mindset of like the woke culture.
Mm-hmm.
That whole movement, if that's what you want to call it, and health. People's health is not good. And that right there is the core of personal responsibility, is your health. If you don't know how to take responsibility for what you're eating and what you're doing and how much time you're spending doing certain things in order to make your mind and your body healthy, then you don't know how to take personal responsibility for yourself. And the lack of, money that some people have, the economics.
a lot of the reason people are unhealthy is due to the lack of personal responsibility.
Mhm.
There's been an increase in people being unhealthy,
Mhm.
like before COVID, even before that. So that's evidence of a decrease in personal responsibility through that
Mhm.
evidence of health.
I think that's the biggest one. Yeah, that's
Biggest
the
one.
best. That's the got to be the best example because the rest is really just my own speculation. But health is an it's evidence. Like that is if because I struggled with it for so long. I was trying all these shortcuts in order to lose weight when what I really need to do is run my butt up Runyon Canyon. Like that you can't just like not eat and lose weight. I mean, you can, but you're going to look frail.
Mm-hmm.
So people try to take these shortcuts or they just ignore it. And then there goes their independence because then they're not happy and they need other things to make them happy. So it's all mingled together to create the communism.
Yeah. Cool.
I do have to wrap it up though.
We are.
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
No worries. Yeah. So that was really great. I think I understand where you're coming from.
Thank
I
you.
understand your reasoning. And if you see me again, I'd love to unpack more of the premises here and the reasoning here. This is really great.
Yeah. How do I follow you?
I have a YouTube channel and
Cool.
social media. I'll post a clip later tonight of our conversation if that's cool on my
Of
second
course.
YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And if you see me again, feel free to stop by. I like to give one of these little puzzle pieces, squishy puzzle pieces to people to remember the conversation. You can take one color,
Aw.
and if you see me again, you can get another color, and we can build out the whole set.
Okay. Are you just always around here?
I try to be here on Sundays. I have a meetup. You can check the check the meetup where I'll be when.
Okay.
Yeah. So which color would you like?
I'm gonna take blue.
All right. Cool.
Cool.
Great. I've got straight Epistemology stickers and everything.
Yeah, I'll take a sticker.
Sweet.
Thank you. It was so nice to meet you, Reed.
Thank you, Andrea.
Yeah.
This was fun.
Yeah. Perfect way to end my run.
Nice.
Have a good day.
You too. Cool. That's fascinating. Take a picture of that. How do I take a picture of that? Here. Take a photo. I need a bigger board. I need like a huge whiteboard to map all this out in the premises. There's so much going on. I wonder if I should get a digital display and use Miro. That would be interesting. But I like the physical stuff. Yeah, you try to question the relevance of the individual premises within the reasons and question the evidence for the individual premises, but I didn't have room to like map out the individual premises, so I was just trying to go off what seemed relevant. So that's not ideal. But I liked how we used this format, the question and the answer, I'd love to get, I probably should have clarified what she meant by communism more. Because I think there's more accurate terminology. I recognize the phenomenon she's describing. Check out my latest video on the ideology I think she's trying to describe, which is a form of communism, but not communism classic. So it could be more specific. Anyway, be right back. That's the kind of conversation that I was referring to in our meeting that might have upset me in the past, and you handled so calmly. Well, thank you. Yeah, maybe. Maybe maybe when the new laptops come out, I can use my iPad or some other different iPad as a different display. I don't know. I'll brainstorm that. right, got another half hour left. It's getting a little chilly. Put on my jacket.
Hi.
.432 table. What is what? I think I need to replace my umbrellas. I'm gonna stand up for a bit. Hang on.
yeah, that's why Rodney said, he's like, look, I look at other appraisals in the area, like a two-bedroom one for 940, so like $1,050,000 you'll still get an appraisal. Hopefully. Because he also said, he's like, look, just by the new house alone, you should get appraised $950,000, but sometimes you said an appraisal sometimes you need extra, like a little bit of a boost with the down payment.
Nice one.
Hi.
Oh, hey. Hi, sorry. I was half of the time I was not I was on this was quiet today.
How people get payments is what these interviews are.
You said I wasn't discovered already.
Oh, you're gonna go out and do some public SC on next Saturday? Nice. Well, best of luck. If you need any help, let me know. If you need the StreamYard account, feel free. Well, yeah, Saturday, yeah, it'll be free. If you need the StreamYard account. Well, I've only got 20 minutes left. Don't know if I should just start another conversation. Guess I'll just wrap it up here. Alright, well, thanks everyone for watching. Try to have some clips up later tonight. Thinking of going to UCLA potentially this week sometime. Maybe David from Sound Epistemology and I can go. I think he's going to be stopping by. Stay tuned. Later.